Was that a knock?
No, that was my ice because that's working now again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that.
Hey.
I was like, who's at your door? No one should be here.
No one should be here.
What's with the neighbors? 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 What's with the neighbors?
Close the door.
Close the door. Leon is covered with my
Turn
camera.
around. Every now and then we'll get a little bit lonely.
You know, we haven't sang in a while like that.
No, we haven't. You're right. Hey, Bree.
Hey,
We're
what's
back.
up, buddy? I missed you.
I missed you too.
Sorry,
And
guys. We've
once
been gone
again,
for a
we're
while.
starting off. Bree's a little furry again.
I have grown hair since you've seen me all over my face.
It's only been a week and you let yourself go. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I missed you a lot. It's been really rough.
Why does he do it
It's
every...
been really meow. Rough
The-
meow.
Like the last couple episodes that we have recorded, he has done this at the beginning of every
And
episode.
he like refuses to move.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what... Leon, do you want a treat? Leon, do you want a treat?
He's like, no, I'm ready to be the star of the show.
I'm ready for my close-up.
Guys, Amy has had COVID.
Yep. I got
and,
COVID.
She's quarantined for over. She was quarantined for over a week, but she's doing good now.
Yep, I'm fine.
Her voice is a little raspy. Sounds like she's smoked a little bit, but
couple packs a day.
don't mess up your voice.
Oh, yeah, that was wrong. That was a bad idea.
But she's doing good now.
Yep, sure am. So I am sorry if you guys are not liking the voice. You know what?
I think it's sexy.
I think it's great. You know
Oh,
what?
and this is our True Crime Paranormal podcast.
Yeah.
What's with the neighbors?
That's Bree.
And that's Amy.
Hey, Bree.
Hey. Amy.
I have something that I have to tell you.
Okay.
Your son, the cat that we share custody of, though
The one that's literally giving me a show right now.
no, not that one.
Oh, no, this is his father. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Tony.
Yeah.
Leon, really? He's literally licking it right in front of me. Leon. It's cool. I've been to Chippendales.
Leon, it is not that type
This
of
is,
show.
Leon and Tony's.
So your son that we share custody of, yet for some reason I pay for all the bills, which is very bizarre.
You know, I don't like to get into that. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I think I'm going to take you to court soon. For
Try it.
Yeah. So I was working from home and I had to attend a meeting. And so I sat in your spot because I was like trying to be a little professional, and I was like, didn't want them to see my bed because that's where I've been working is in my
Right.
bed or in the couch on downstairs. And my spot, I have, the
Yeah.
poster. And so I sat in your spot and I angled it so that they couldn't see anything. And Tony, and like it was the beginning, like before the meeting had officially started, like our boss started talking. And everyone's like, chit-chatting, and I'm just sitting there waiting for it to start. And then everybody like there's this big ruckus going on in the conference room, and I'm like, not really paying attention because I can't really hear. Like I can hear them, but I can't. And then they're just like laughing and like they're like, ha 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 ha, Amy, your cat. And Leon or Tony's behind me just putting on a show for everybody. Like, I don't know, like he was like playing with something on the wall and just like looking at the camera. But he's like behind me, so I didn't like until I looked at the camera and realized what he was doing. I had no idea that he was behind me.
Aww.
And so now he's like, anytime anyone, like mainly attorneys walk by me, they're like, how's your cat?
Aww.
One of the attorneys like emailed me pictures of her cat, and then I had to email her more pictures of Tony and Leon back. It was...
Aw, you're the crazy cat lady.
I'm the crazy cat lady.
It's so cute though. Aw.
And the DA, he was like, you guys know how I feel about cats. And I was like, no, how do you feel about cats?
They like cats?
No, he doesn't like cats.
Oh.
No. He does not like cats.
We don't talk cats. Just drop it.
So I thought it was really funny and
Oh,
cute.
that is really
Yeah.
cute. Go,
Sweet Tony, I
You're
love him.
amazing.
Yeah. So, do you want to tell me about Cody?
Yes. So my brother-in-law was our tech guy.
Yeah.
Was listening to the show, and he got to the Dybbuk box episode, and he texted me.
No.
He said, "Yo, some weird shit happened last night / this morning. Sometime I had a dream that I was in possession of a Dybbuk box. I knew not to open it, but at some point I accidentally did, and 2 plumes of soot came out of it. I was sort of panicking, trying to inhale the soot into my mouth and then blow it back into the Dybbuk box. Not how any of this works, I'm sure. But as far as I know, nothing cursed happened in my dreams. Fast forward to about 3 minutes ago, in real life, I'm sitting at the place where I purchased my car having it serviced, and Pawn Stars is playing on the TV. I don't know if you've seen Pawn Stars, but before or after commercials, they have trivia. I looked up to see what was on the TV because a video I was just watching on my phone finished playing. The question was something along the lines of, which haunted item supposedly cursed rapper Post Malone? And he was like, no freaking way. And I didn't have time to read the entire explanation, but I did see Dybbuk box on there, and now I'm afraid my dream was not entirely a dream. Isn't that weird?
That is so weird.
I know. Weird stuff happened with that story with me too. Like,
Yeah.
it was a very weird just thing. It was just very bizarre.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cody.
I was like, let me know if anything happens. And he's like, he's like, I'm sure it's fine. He's like, I'm sure it was nothing. It's probably just a coincidence. Because he's very, like, skeptical.
Yeah.
So, which, I mean, I'm sure it probably was a coincidence. I know exactly what he's talking about because I've seen that episode before when I was researching the Dybbuk box for research.
Oh, the Pawn Stars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not the episode. I've seen that question pop up on Pawn
Right.
Stars before. Yes, that's what I mean. Yes.
I like that they do those.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
trivia. That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to fix my mic real quick.
We want to know if weird things happen to you guys. That's.
So, do you have oh, wait, no, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. Who is your favorite Disney hero or villain? And would you trade places with them if you could for one day?
Like a fictional character?
Yes. Who is your favorite Disney hero or villain? And would you trade places with them for
Iron
one
Man.
day?
1000%.
Iron Man?
Yes. And yes, I would trade places with him because he's a millionaire, philanthropist, genius, playboy. Super awesome.
So you want to be a playboy? It would be fun to be a man for a
It would
day.
probably be, yeah. He threw out that one reporter, and Pepper Potts came in there, and she's like, here, I'll show you out. And she's like, well, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm taking out the trash. Bye.
Bye.
So, he's the best.
Now, what would you do with your one day of being Iron Man?
I would be Iron Man. I would fly and, like, shoot shit. And spend a lot of money because he has a lot of money.
No,
I'd have a lot of fun with my techie stuff.
I feel like it would be fun to like
And then just like
transfer
get to
a
go
bunch-
places, like knowing that you're him.
Yeah.
Like this big person. Anyway. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it'd be fun to like transfer a bunch of money into your like husband's account, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
when you go back to not
Just
being
like,
Iron Man,
Oh, whoops. I don't know how that got there.
like, oh, sorry, I was just doing a day's work.
He wouldn't have noticed anyway. He would not have noticed. Who would you trade places with?
This is silly, but I would trade places with
You messing with the
Fal-
voodoo?
Falcio. Or,
Oh, okay, that sounds right. Yes. Why?
He's one of my favorite Disney characters, surprisingly, besides the Evil Queen and Maleficent. But And he just looks like he probably has a good time. Like
He does. Yeah, he does.
wherever he's going.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why I like him. I really like his music that he sings
Yeah,
in this.
I
and
love that
Princess
movie.
and the
I
Frog.
love Princess and the Frog.
So, yeah, I think he would just like, it would be fun to be him for a day. And like, you kind of are like living on the edge, like, and risking
Screwing
everything.
people over.
Yep.
Playing around with
I just
the,
realized, yeah.
witchcraft.
You're just like messing with people's lives.
You're doing what we advise not to do.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. And I didn't realize like how crappy of a human
It's
he
cool.
is.
I like it though.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's fun.
Yeah. So
Pretty messed up. What was that? I don't know what question I was gonna ask for you, to be honest.
that's okay.
I didn't have one lined up, but I do know what I was gonna ask. I'll think of a question by the end
Okay.
for you. I do know what I was gonna ask everybody else,
Okay.
and I've asked you this question before.
Okay.
But neighbors on Facebook, wherever you're listening from, are you the kind of person that takes the extra effort to go put your buggy away? Or do you leave it? And by buggy, I mean grocery cart. I'm from the South. I call it a buggy.
Shopping cart.
It's a buggy. So it depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Basket.
are you the type of person that puts it back? Or do you just leave it wherever you please? Like, even if it's 40 below and I have my kids with me, I walk away from the car, I lock them in there, and I go, because I'm that paranoid, and I go put my buggy away, and I come back to the car, and I'm, like, usually pissed because I can't get in my car fast enough because I locked my car, and I'm like,
'Cause it's so
it's
cold.
locked! Then I have,
Yeah.
like, a mini panic attack, and I'm like, oh, my keys are in my pocket. It's fine. But I put my buggy back.
I feel like when you asked me that, I was trapped into an answer. Because I was just like, no, sometimes I leave it.
I never do.
But
It
ever
could be
since
a
that
hurricane
question,
outside, and I would not leave my buggy out.
ever since you asked me that question, I was like, no. Like, I go and I put it away.
You feel judged now.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not going to be that kind of person.
Not anymore.
That's not the
I
kind
don't
of person
leave.
Bree
I
needs
would
in her
never
life.
like leave it in a thingamajigger shopping spot. Or
Yeah,
parking
someone
spot.
legit put one right behind my
People
car
are
last week, and I
yeah.
was like, I was really loud because when I get mad, I don't confront someone. I'm just really loud about it. I'm like, really? Someone was this lazy? I go and double up on mine, and there's people watching me, and I go and put them back.
I've had someone just recently at Costco. They went to go put it in front of my car, and I was like, I had pulled in, and they were like putting it like it looked like he was gonna put it in the spot, but I ended up pulling in, and I was like, I'll take that for you since you don't want to put it back.
Yeah, right?
It's rude to put it in someone's spot.
It is. And then, like, if the wind blows, the
Yeah.
wind moves them, and they
Yeah.
hit someone's car. Like, come on now. Don't be lazy, people.
Just last time I went to Costco, I actually forgot that this even happened, but someone's left their dogs in their car, and then the van, the slider door was open, so the dogs were just like barking at people from the car, and then they ended up jumping out, and
oh,
like
yeah. You told me about it.
yeah, one of those dogs were just like running around barking at people, and I
Did
was
you
like,
say one of the people got one of the
yeah, the lady
workers
got
and
bit. One of the workers got bit.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, really? Why would you bring your dogs? And, like, leave your vehicle open?
Leave your
It's
yeah. Why would you?
cold.
And like I
Just leave them at home if you're going to do that.
yeah. I don't understand it. Or like lock the door and leave the car on. I don't understand people.
People are silly. Silly
Yeah.
people.
All right, I have a story for you.
I have a neighborhood story
Oh
first.
yeah, that's right. Sorry.
All right. So this one is titled Farting in My Mailbox.
Oh no.
Someone keeps farting in my mailbox late at night. I can hear it outside the window, and I smell it every time I check my mail. This is getting old, and it is extremely childish. My bills and coupons smell so bad I can't even pay them or use them at the grocery store. Anyone in my neighborhood, keep an eye out for the brown eye. I will catch the flatulent phantom.
I have so many questions.
That makes me
What
so
type of mailbox do you have that is like airtight.
Yeah. Also, like, how do you hear that from inside? It's gonna be like a mountainous fart.
And like mailboxes aren't like low to the
I
ground.
know. It's like Slender Man farting his ass off in a mailbox. Oh, there's that neighbor again.
Jolly Green Giants like walking.
Hand over your Wendy's coupon, like, smells like fart.
Yeah.
Sorry. Damn neighbor.
How potent is that fart that it's like lingering onto paper?
Turns out it's just the mailman.
Yeah.
He's just farting up all of his mail and it stinks up the mailbox. Oh man, that was a good one.
I have so many questions. Oh man. Okay, so I am going to I had another story lined up, but I'm going to hold off on that story for another time when my voice is better. And I tried to make this as short as possible.
Oh, mine's short.
Oh, good, because mine's
It is
16 pages.
You tried?
I tried.
You didn't try very hard.
I just really like talking.
Holy crap. You're like, yeah, it's 30 font.
It's like, probably like, I don't know, like 18
14.
font. 14, maybe 14. You're probably right. It is not as big as I
Do you need
normally.
anything?
No, I'm good. I needed to get that cough out. So, I'm going to tell you about Jerry Brudos.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like-
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I actually knew about this story for a long while. I don't know why I've never thought to cover it. So, I'm really excited for this one. It's pretty messed up.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty messed up. So I'm not gonna give any trigger warnings because this is a true crime paranormal podcast.
You guys roped into this already. So
I feel like the only time we've
you're
ever
here for it.
the only time we've ever done what is it called? Trigger warnings is for pets.
Yeah. And kids.
Yes,
I think
yeah,
we've
I'll
done
do
kids.
So, Jerry Brudos was born in Webster, South Dakota on January 1st, 1939.
Wow.
The Great Depression was like happening. So, can you focus, please? I love that you're like stretching your neck to like try to see me.
I'm trying to get him to move.
I don't know, like, why does it's always your camera too? He doesn't care about my camera. So the Great Depression was like happening. It was like super dark and depressing. His dad decided, hey, you know what? We should just like move to Portland, Oregon.
Why
And
not? It's a great place.
they're like, all right, Dad, let's go. I'm sure it had something to do with the fact that Portland probably had more things to offer than South Dakota.
Yeah.
But so they moved to Portland, Oregon. And that didn't guarantee his dad a job though. So they would move around a lot when it came to like going where the job was. And I say moving around, they just like kind of like moved from place to place in Oregon. In Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And so
Just wherever work was.
yeah, and Portland's kind of big, so it's kind of like one of those things where you, if you get a job like across town, you're gonna want to move there because otherwise it's like an hour commute.
Okay.
So, kind of like LA, you know,
LA.
LA.
Sorry. I was getting Snapchat for
there's-
Snapchat.
There's different like communities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that caused Jerry and his, I think it's his older brother. Jerry and his older brother, they would switch schools like every few weeks
Oh, that
because of this.
sucks.
Yeah. So finally, his dad found not one, but two jobs, leaving Jerry and his older brother with their mom. And their mom was awful. She loved his older brother. Did that scare you, Leon?
It must have.
She loved the older brother. But after she had the older brother, she's like, I want a girl.
Oh,
And then Jerry was born and he was a
you
boy.
were rough on him his
So
whole life.
she took it out on him. Yep. She emotionally and physically abusive to him. So, when Jerry was around 5, it was known that he was allowed to do like things on his own. He basically would feed himself,
5?
make sure that he, took baths and stuff like that, and because she just really did not care about him.
Aw.
He also would just like kind of like go wherever he wanted and go on walks and stuff unsupervised.
Oh my gosh, in Portland.
In Portland, yeah. And this is like the early, what? He was born in 39, so
40s?
the early 40s.
Well, late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, early 40s, yes.
Well, like mid 40s.
Yeah.
So he would just like wander the streets without supervision.
Gosh.
One day, Jerry was just wandering around and he came upon a pile of trash that someone had left out. And he was like going through the trash because it was not just like trash. It was like someone took a bunch of stuff that they didn't want in their closet anymore and put it outside,
Okay.
probably for the trash guy. And he found the most beautiful piece of clothing attire. And he was just like, what is this? It was a high heel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so he pulled it out of the trash and brought it home. And he tried on the heels. Sorry, it wasn't just one, it was two. Tried on the heels and started walking around. He was like, whoa, I'm like going down, but
I'm
not.
fancy.
It's fancy.
They
And
click and clack.
yeah, they can click clack. Oh, that makes me think of Alice when she would call flip flops clappers.
Oh.
So his mom found him doing this and she was pissed. She's like, get those off, get those off. Probably because a little boy's wearing high heels and
Oh my
it's the
gosh.
early 40s.
Oh my gosh.
So she was like, get those off, get those off. He was like, why are you so upset that I'm playing with these shoes? She threw them out, but Jerry went and grabbed
Didn't you
them.
want a girl?
Huh?
Sorry.
Yeah, she wanted a girl.
Yeah,
Come on.
She'd be happy.
Jerry went and grabbed them from the trash when she wasn't looking and would wear them around when she wasn't looking. She ultimately found them again and was furious and took them away. She took the shoes and Jerry outside and she lit them on fire in front of him. And he was like, why are you doing
What a
this to my beautiful
bee.
piece of shoes?
Yeah, he's a kid. He just wants
Yeah.
to play with them.
I know. We're going to jump 11 years.
Okay.
It is 1955, and a new family next door moved in. And Jerry is, 16 now? So he was like, what's with the neighbors? And checked the family out. He realized a few teen girls were part of the family, and Jerry became a peeping Tom. He's like,
Uh-oh.
girls.
Jerry.
Jerry. He didn't just be like a little peeping Tom. He was like a full-on creep. Like, ooh, just creeping on the girls.
Ew.
He noticed that the family would hang their clothes on the clothing line out back,
no.
including the girls' underwear.
Oh, no. Jerry.
So he took them.
Jerry.
Come on, Gary.
Ah. I love stories when we have a Jerry, Larry, Gary,
I know.
Jerry, Barry.
After Jerry doing this several times actually, the parents realized like there's an underwear shortage in the house. So they're like, 911? Yes, we have an underwear shortage. Like they literally called 911 for this.
Really?
Yes. We are out of
Why?
underwear. Hello, 911? So Jerry found out that the family called the
Called the underwear police?
Yes. Thank you for saying that before I even had to say it. Oh, Leon.
He's giving you a full show now.
He's like, you're talking about peeping
He's
toms.
like, look at my bits, Mom.
So when the neighbors were gone, besides one of the teenage girls, he went over to the house and knocked on the door. She answered and he pretended to be the police. He wore like a little badge and he's like, hello, I have some questions about the underwear that are missing. And he's like, come over to my house or come over to this house next door and I will ask you some questions.
Come over to this house next door that just so happens to be available for me to use.
Yeah,
Even
not
though
your
I'm a
house.
cop and I could totally take you to the sheriff department or to your own house.
I definitely don't want to stand in your house because I don't want my underwear stolen. I don't understand how she didn't fall for this. Or how she did fall for
It was
this.
the 60s,
Yeah.
50s, 50s.
50s,
Yes.
yeah. So she agreed to go next door. He takes her to the living room and then quickly goes in. Okay, I'm so sorry. He's like, okay, stand here. And so she stands there. He leaves the room, puts on a ski mask, takes off his little badge, comes.
Continue. I'm
It's
sorry.
not funny.
I just pictured. All I can think of is the episode of Bluey where they're in the bathtub and they're like, "Sir, would you like to buy more cheeseburgers?" And the dad's like, "I'm out of money." She goes down, puts on a hat, and she's like, "I'm the bank."
I love that episode.
I need you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, so his evil twin comes out.
Okay, so he's like, stand here. So he leaves quickly, takes off his little badge, puts on a ski mask, goes back into the room that she's in, and takes a knife. And he's like, strip. And so she took all of her clothes off. And he took pictures of her. Then he runs back outside, takes off the ski mask, puts on his little badge, goes back into the living room, and he's like, oh no, what happened?
No! Are you serious?
I am not.
Please
I'm
don't,
so sorry.
please don't tell me she fell for it.
She fell for it.
Oops. Sorry, Siri.
So
She fell for it.
obviously she didn't by the time he got back, she was like, okay, I was duped. She didn't tell anybody though, because she
Aw.
was so embarrassed that she was duped. And so we're not laughing at the victim, we're
No.
laughing at how stupid
At the
this guy
weirdness of
is.
this
Yes.
situation, like
Like obviously
No.
she realized when he came back she was duped, but before that, yeah. So, yeah.
I feel like
He
there's
was
like
like-
a phone booth in the next room.
He was like,
It's like a 1950s like
yes.
go change your outfit real quick. Look, I'm Superman. No, I'm
But-
Clark Kent.
When he went back into the room, he was like, literally what he said, whoa, a stranger with a mask grabbed me and locked me in the barn. And somehow let me out.
Again, this is not funny.
I know.
But it
He's,
is bad
he is
funny.
so dumb. He is so dumb. So she was embarrassed and didn't tell anybody that it happened.
Aw.
So weeks later, Jerry was out for a drive and saw a girl walking, and he pulled over and was like, hey, I got this sick ride. Want to go for a drive with me? And she's like, okay, because it's the 50s. And Jerry drives out to the middle of nowhere and takes a knife out and demands she takes off her clothes. She's like, no, I'm not doing that. And she runs off and he follows her. And they're like doing this like, ooh, 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 ooh,
Oh,
like
going back and forth. Yeah, like
the
you
back
get
and
around
forth
the table.
thing. Like it makes me think of the SpongeBob, the caveman
The
SpongeBob.
fact
Like
that we keep on comparing this to children's TV shows.
why
It's
are
our
we doing
mental state, the way we're trying to get through this.
this? So another couple saw them doing this little squirrel, and they called 911, and Jerry was arrested. And the warrant was issued to search his house and room. They found naked pictures of the girl next door that he took, and pictures of the stolen underwear from next door.
We got pictures of it too.
The family's like, whoa, we found our stolen underwear. Thank you, underwear, please. Weird. They're on 2D pieces of paper now, though. Like,
So
where's the actual stuff?
strange.
Because Jerry was only 17 at the time, instead of arresting him, they sent him to a psychiatric hospital.
Ah.
There, Jerry talked to a doctor about these fantasies he would have. He's like, yeah, I really just like love seeing women naked in underwear and shoes. He also told them that he had a desire to have a room underground where he could keep his captured victims.
Okay, that's just a teeny bit alarming.
Brie, the doctors were like, oh, it's just a phase.
It's normal.
It's normal.
We've
They're-
all been through
Yeah,
that.
he'll get, we all have
Never.
those. We all have those fantasies. And they're like, he'll
Yeah.
get over it. It's no big deal. And because they considered this a condition to not be that serious, they allowed him to leave the hospital during the day and attend school and then return in the evening time.
Okay.
So after 9 months, the doctors were like, told you it was a phase. He's fine. And released him. And he was like,
Because he wasn't able to go anywhere else other than school.
exactly.
Like,
So he probably still had those fantasies, but learned, hey, let's not talk about those because that's not going to get me out of here.
and let's be better at my outfit changes.
Exactly. So he moved back home with his family and finished high school. After a few years of like, I don't know, doing nothing, he decided to enlist into the army,
Okay.
as they do, which didn't last long because after a few months, probably just boot camp, the army was like, yeah, you have like weird obsessions. Don't like that for us, so we're going to discharge you.
That says a lot when the army
I
kicks
know,
you
it's
out.
the army.
Yeah, and in that time period too, like
Yeah.
they needed people.
They
then.
did, you're right.
Like, Vietnam War was coming.
Uh,
No, yes, Vietnam.
you know,
60s.
yes, Vietnam War. Surprisingly, I think that was the 70s.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
But I'm sure we're
World
like
War II.
working that way, yeah.
World War II.
No.
I don't know.
No way. That's the 40s. We're not, this is not a history podcast, you guys.
No, we're not. We're absolutely not a history podcast. We're actually really dumb. Yeah, 45 was when World War II ended. Sorry.
Surprisingly, I know a lot of people that did not get past boot camp, Brie.
Really?
A lot of people that I went to high school with.
Well, it's different now.
I mean, this was what?
Oh, Vietnam War was in the 50s, 55 to 75.
My uncle was in Vietnam War.
My
Oh, that would
grandpa
make
was.
sense.
Yeah,
He's like
that's what I
70
thought.
now.
My grandpa was in, and that would make sense.
Your grandpa was? Man, we're on two different generations right now.
Yes, we are.
So he moved back in with his mom, who once again treated him poorly. She made him live in the back, like in the back garage, like out back. Jerry went back to his
Made
old.
him live out there. That'd be awesome as a teenager.
He was more than a teenager too.
Oh
He was-
yeah, like you get your privacy and everything.
yeah. I guess maybe
She's
it
just
didn't have.
asking for him to do things.
Maybe it's just not heated or something. I don't know.
Maybe you get to
It
live in
is,
the
yeah.
cold.
Yeah, it's Portland too.
Yeah.
Jerry went back to his old habits of obsessing over women's garments, underwear, and their shoes. He would even assault women to get their shoes.
It wasn't a face.
It wasn't a phase, surprisingly. I know.
Gosh.
He would even, at one point, he was sitting in a parking lot looking for a victim. He found a woman walking back to her car. He grabbed her, moved her to where no one could see. He choked her until she passed out. And while she was passed out, he took off her shoes and took off. At 23 years old, you're puzzled. I can see you're
He just
puzzled.
wanted to her
He
shoes.
just- Shoes.
Do you know that you could buy these at the store?
Oh my gosh, my shoes. Do you see my shoes? What's the
These
YouTube?
shoes rule. These shoes rock. This is real. These shoes suck.
At 23 years old, Jerry met a young woman named Ralphine. She was 17 years old at the time, and they dated. Ralphine became pregnant, and Jerry was like, I gotta lock this woman down. So they got married. After they got married, Ralphine started to notice how odd Jerry was. She was like, oh, I'm not young and in love anymore. Like, you're kind of a weirdo. She was like, he's pretty controlling, also an odd duck. He would make her dress up in these underwear and shoes and pose for pictures. And at the time, she didn't realize that the underwear and the shoes that he had that were not hers were stolen.
That's that was gonna be my next question was what is she saying about all these other shoes and underwear?
I'm assuming that she was just like, oh, you bought these for me or something like
Yeah.
that, but he was stealing them.
Or an ex left that here.
Yeah. So she started stepping up to him and say like, no more of these photo shoots. I don't like them, which claimed Jerry later. He was like, that made me unfulfilled. So she's the problem, not him. One day, Jerry saw a woman that was very attractive at the bus stop. He followed her to her apartment, waited until her lights turned off, and he broke in and went to her dresser. She woke up, though, and started to scream. He jumped on top of her and assaulted her. The woman reported it, but there was no leads as to who this attacker was because it was dark. 1967, Jerry was 28 years old at the time. He was still married and was a father. He was working as an electrician and had a home, and they had a home together. In the basement of the house, he had turned the entire thing into a dark room for his photos so he could develop them there. He spent a lot of time down there, and Delphine was not allowed to go down there. He's like, don't go down there. And she's like, okay, husband. Like, I cannot imagine Rick telling me.
Yeah, I'd be like, what? Why?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go down there now.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's the first thing I'm going to do.
I'm
you're
absolutely gonna go down there.
I'm going to take you with your ear. We're going down there together.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab you by the ear. Like, I absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
It's
was
a different time though.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
It just is so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
To comprehend.
Thank God it's a different time now.
I know. I don't think I would probably be like shunned
Yeah.
by like all men. They'd be like, no, she's way too bossy.
She's way too independent.
Yeah.
Like
January 1968, a 19-year-old young woman named Linda was trying to make some money by going door to door selling encyclopedias. And when she got to Jerry's house, she found him working outside. And Jerry was like, whoa, how did you know? I need 20 of these. And so he was like, follow me so I can get my checkbook to buy.
F through X.
We need to go down to my basement, though, because that's where my my checkbook is. So they go down to his basement. Once he was there, he strangled her or hit her over the head and strangled her. While Ralphine and their son were upstairs. And he went upstairs and he was like, hey, Ralphine, why don't you go take the kiddo out to dinner? I'm not going with you because I'm too busy, but here's some cash. Go get some dinner. And she's like, okay. So she went out and had dinner. Jerry went back to the basement and he posed Linda in different underwear while putting her in different positions and that sort of stuff and taking pictures of her, which is really gross.
Yeah, gross, cringy.
Yeah, he sexually assaulted her then. And as a trophy, he cut off her foot and then stored it in the freezer.
Ew.
And according to Jerry later, he said he would take the foot out of the basement freezer.
No. Continue. I know what's gonna happen.
He would pose the foot with different shoes.
Yep. Knew that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that
Yep.
disgusting?
Yep.
So the family is back home. And once everyone was asleep, he moved Linda's body to the trunk of his car, tying her to a spare automobile transmission, and dumped her into the local river. A few months later, Jerry and his family moved to Salem, Oregon. And they moved into a house with a detached garage. And he's like, this is perfect.
Sick.
Yeah. Which he turned
Literally.
into his darkroom. Yeah, literally sick. So, November 1968, Jerry was out for a little drive late in the evening, and he noticed a young woman named Jan out working on her car. He was like, hey, what you doing? And she's like, oh, my car stalled, and I need help fixing it. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're so in luck. I have tools. And so he told her to ride back with him to the house, to his house, to get the tools. And since it was getting late, he didn't want her to he wanted to keep her safe. And she's like, oh, that's a good idea. So she rode back with him to his house to get the tools. And when they got to the house, he parked his car in the driveway. And he's like, you stay here. I'm going to go get my tools. Which, I'm not going to lie, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, oh, wow, this guy is actually, like,
Right.
a good human.
Yeah.
He's not putting me in an uncomfortable situation. I mean,
Right.
granted, I'm in a car with him, but yeah. So, he came back from the garage, got in the back seat, and strangled her because she was in the front seat. Then he dragged her body to his little garage and did just like the most disgusting, vile things to her body. And then, for starters, he suspended her body from the ceiling of the garage for 5 days. So, that's, yeah. During that time, posing her in pictures with clothes and heels and just being just vile to her. So after 5 days, Jerry was like, we need a family vacation. I've had a lot of weird things going on in my life. So he took his family on vacation for the weekend.
And just left the
Left the body in the
Oh.
garage.
Okay.
As you do.
Right.
I don't remember where they went. I know it said that, but I forgot to write it. So they just like went away on vacation. And while they were away, Bree, someone was driving by their house. Somehow, I don't know if the person was intoxicated or what happened to the vehicle, but the person lost control, crashed into the side of the garage. The cops came, investigators came to figure out what happened to this car. They had the car removed, and they kind of like just left the garage as is, and they did not inspect the
Are
inside
you
of the
freaking
garage.
kidding me?
They did not inspect
I
the
was
inside.
just about to say, because I thought that was going to be the end of it.
Yeah,
And I
like
was just about to say, wow, somebody was watching that. And they're like, nuh-uh, we need to shut this down.
right?
Like, we're going to make this guy crash into here.
Yeah, right? No. It was not investigated. They just left the hanging.
Wow,
Yeah.
you guys were given a completely open door. Literally
Literally
an
open
open
door.
wall. An
Yeah,
open wall.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
suck.
So Jerry found, obviously they somehow tracked Jerry down because they're like, hey,
They had
something
to
happened
notify
to
them
your...
that your house was hit.
Yeah. So he like freaked out, came home, but he's like, I'm not going to press charges. Like, no big deal. Like, it's cool, guys. Because obviously he had something bigger to
Right.
hide. So he got home and Jerry ended up taking the body to the river and dropping her body in the river. So spring of 1969, Jerry was enjoying his life of getting away with these like disgusting habits. He spent a lot of time in parking garages watching women. He stumbled upon a young woman in a garage named Karen Sprinkler. She was 19 years old. He forced Karen into his car and moved her to his garage. He forced her to pose for photos and then ended up suspending her from the ceiling. The suspension he had for her made her like stand on her tippy toes, and if she like slipped at all on this like he had her like sitting on like a box or something, if she slipped she would literally
Right.
strangle herself. So she was like trying to stand on her tippy toes, and he ended up leaving her after his little session with her and had dinner with the family. Later that evening, he went back to the garage and then found Karen dead. She had
Okay.
strangled herself. So Jerry took advantage of the situation and did all the gross stuff to her and documented it with photos. He then casted her breast with, casting
Right.
stuff,
Molds.
and then spray painted it gold to like make it look like a literal trophy for himself.
That's sick. Freaking sick.
After that, he tied her to a spare auto engine and dumped her body into the river.
Where are you getting all these like big auto parts?
I have no idea.
Like transmission and engine, like these things are not cheap. They're
pick and
expensive.
pull or something.
Maybe.
So Jerry attempted 2 other times with 2 separate women to abduct him, but they were able to get away. Jerry was like, I need to change up my routine. Like, something's not working. So he bought a fake police badge, because that worked in the past.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
He scoped out a shopping strip and found a woman with lots of bags, and he was like, bingo. He approached her and said, hey, there are a bunch of thefts going on, and you need to come with me to the station so you can be questioned. Which I would just, like, say no.
Like,
I'd be
yeah, like, and her hand, why would a police officer go up to you when you have a hand, like, your hands are full?
like, obviously, he's saying, like, they're suspecting that she shoplifted them.
Oh, I see. Got you.
But I'd be like,
On what grounds do you have
yeah,
to,
I
like,
can show you my receipts. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
He's being so cute.
He's being so sweet.
So she agreed though. She got in his car and he took her straight to his garage. He took a knife to her and led her to the inside of the garage. He tied her up and hung her from the ceiling. After doing all the gross things to her, he dumped her body into the same river.
Ugh.
In May of 1969, a fisherman was just out for his weekend relaxing fishing, trip on the local river, and he found a body floating, and it was the body of Linda. 2 days later,
Which one was that one?
Linda,
Was it the second one or the...
Linda, I think, was one of the first ones.
Okay.
2 days later, the police found Karen, and they were able to narrow the
Okay.
investigation down on Jerry.
Okay.
Through interviews at the local colleges and like similarities of how, like, because he was an electrician and he used like electrician
okay.
knots, and so
Right.
they were somehow I didn't really go
They
deep
tied
into
together all the
I didn't go
bodies.
deep into the investigation because it was really long.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were able to narrow it down pretty fast on
Right.
him though. And like they'd be like, yeah, this guy, like the same guy, will like walk around our college, like be like weird and spy on girls in the parking lots at the colleges and stuff. So, anyways, unfortunately though, they were only able to narrow down the murder, or they were only able to narrow the murderer down to a name, but they didn't have anything to arrest him on. There was nothing like pressing, like, hey, definitely we can tie him to this, besides
Right.
just speculation, besides like the knots and that he's
Right.
a peeping Tom and stuff like that.
So they have to catch him.
So one day, one of the investigators was like, you know what? I'm just going to try something out. So he went over to the house, knocked on the door, and Jerry answered. The investigator was like just talking to Jerry, and he's like, hey, yeah. So like kind of pretending like he knew him. And Jerry was like going along with it. And
He
But-
probably thought from his old cop days.
he's like, oh, yeah, I do remember you.
Oh yeah, right. We worked in the force together. 9-9.
Were you also trapped in a barn? So while the investigator was talking to this guy, he was like looking over Jerry's shoulders to see if he could find anything in the background. And I forgot.
You're gonna hear that noise come out during what you're doing. You'll be like, "What the?"
So he was like looking over his shoulders and to, spot anything for a probable cause. And Jerry noticed that the investigator was looking over his shoulders. And Jerry's like, oh, this old thing? You want a piece of this rope? It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool rope. You want some? And the investigator's like, sure do.
Like, sure, give me that evidence.
Yeah. And so Jerry was just like, here you go. Gave him a piece of the evidence, Brie.
It's the same kind of rope that he used, right? Okay.
Yeah. So Jerry literally didn't think he was going to get caught, which linked the rope, like we said, to the samples that they found on the woman in the river.
Right.
Investigators got a warrant to search his vehicle, but just his vehicle, which I did find odd that they wouldn't, say his house as well, but it was
Right.
just his vehicle. But by the time police got to his vehicle, they found that the car was soaking wet because he took it through a car wash. So it made any of the evidence mute, it non-existent.
Like the inside of it too?
Yeah, like he rolled down his windows and went through a car wash.
Jeez.
So investigators are mad, and Jerry was like, "Hey, wife, kid, hurry up, let's pack away. We're leaving for the Canadian border," because he knew that the investigators were on his tail. Luckily, police caught up to him though. And Ralphine was driving at the time, and Jerry was in the back hiding under a blanket, because I guess that would prevent you from being caught. I don't know. I also feel like she either was a victim in this situation or she knew what he was doing. I'm not positive. But Jerry was
She may
eventually...
have been too afraid.
Yeah, could be. But Jerry was brought in for questioning, and he was just like literally telling them everything from the very beginning. He was just like, "Yeah, I did this and this and this and this and this." He also included that he would electrocute the woman in some of his kidnappings. His home was raided after a warrant was issued. They found all the photos, disgusting photos.
Ew.
Many dozens of photos of women's feet in heels. They also found the gold breast trophy that he had made, and it was sitting on a mantle over the fireplace as home decor.
There's no way the wife didn't know. Like, she knew. She had
She
to
had
know
to have
something
known and
was
just-
going on.
Yeah, she had to have.
And
Could you?
then, like, whenever he's gone at home, like, you can't tell me that you didn't go in the garage and go look.
Well, maybe he had a lock on it,
Maybe.
but at this point, she's probably just in survival mode, I would think.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially when they have a kid involved and
Yeah,
stuff.
and
then,
she's
like,
probably at home.
I mean, I've never been in, like, a situation to where, like, a spouse is, like, abusive. But,
Right.
like, I know people who have been, and they have described as feeling, like, trapped and, like, they
Yes.
can't talk to anybody, or they're just, like you said, survival mode.
Yeah.
And they're, like, too afraid to leave or do anything about it. And, like, people can judge every single day about that kind of thing, but, like, you've never been in that situation. So
Exactly.
I can't say that she knew about it and, like, helped him hide it. No, she was probably flippin' terrified.
Yeah. So I completely agree. Jerry was arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder, which he pled guilty to. He was sentenced to 3 life sentences for murder. His wife, Ralphine, was charged as an accomplice,
Oh.
but she was never sentenced and was let free. And she continued her innocence and picked up shop and left town.
Good for you, Ralphine.
Jerry died in 2006 at 67 years old of liver cancer.
Good.
And that is the story of the weird shoe fetish dude.
Karma's a B, man. Jeez. But also, like, look at the picture of her if
I
you
know,
don't think
it's-
that she is absolutely terrified in this marriage.
She does.
Google her, guys.
It's at the first time I saw the photo, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this woman is so
Someone
unhappy."
save her.
Yeah, she looks so unhappy. It's so sad.
That's crazy.
Well, they got together when she was 17 and he was 23.
Yeah, so she didn't really have any experience with
Nope.
good people.
No, poor thing. Another
Jeez.
poor kid.
Yeah. It's like, what's that screaming, Mommy? Nothing. Let's go for a walk.
But seriously, the things that this guy thought he could get away, and he did get
But
away
he
with.
did, yeah, exactly. Like, what the heck?
Breastplate and the
That idiot. Like, why didn't they flip in, like, search his garage or, like,
I
go in
know.
and fix it?
I
Like, what if
know.
first of all, what if someone alive was in there and you didn't go check it to make sure you didn't run anyone
yeah.
over? Like, that would be a huge legal thing.
It's
Like, if
just-
someone was in there and that person who ran into the garage killed them.
Yep. Poor investigation on the police
And
department.
there was a dead body in there, so.
Yeah, exactly. Leon, can you please
I know,
move?
right? He's just like, it's all about me.
All right, Bree, tell me a spooky story.
All right, so it's not really a spooky story.
Oh.
It's a cryptid. Haven't done one in a while.
Ooh.
So I'm going to tell you about the lizard man of Bishopville, South Carolina.
Like real lizard people?
No, a lizard man, not lizard people. Two different things.
Oh.
Lizard people are like the celebrity conspiracy thing.
Okay.
Another
I'm
time.
excited.
It was the summer of 1988, July 14th, to be exact. Probably scalding hot and so humid you could drink the air with a straw near Bishopville, South Carolina.
Oh. Bree lives there.
Not in Bishopville. Like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I used to live there, near there. I don't know how far. It's near Columbia. Anyway. So 17-year-old Christopher Davis was driving home from a very late night shift at McDonald's. What up?
Is this a story about you?
You know, I felt like I was him for a minute when this story. So,
Oh my gosh, Bree.
okay.
Okay, we're talking about
So-
South Carolina
He was on his way home
from McDonald's.
from McDonald's really late at night, and he had stopped on the side of the road because he got a flat tire.
Oh no.
So he was finishing up, put the jack back into it. It was putting the back. He was putting the jack back into his trunk, and he had claimed to see a 7-foot tall creature with scaly skin and red eyes running toward him. Like, the fuck was that? He attempted to make a break for it in the car, but it ended up catching up to him in the
No.
car while he was driving and landed up on the roof. He described seeing its 3-fingered claws on the windshield until he swerved and like braked and threw it off the car.
What in the Scooby Doo?
And he got away. I know, right? That's all I think every time I hear this story is Scooby-Doo. After telling his parents, they urged him to go to Lee County Sheriff's Department, and he did relay this information to a Sheriff Truesdale, who took the information extremely seriously.
Oh,
like,
good.
he was like, okay, this guy's serious. Like, this guy's seriously shaken up and everything. You know, there's probably something going on.
Yeah.
The sheriff even subjected the guy to a polygraph test, which he passed.
Whoa.
When the scene was investigated for any evidence, they found tooth marks and scratches and some hair and strange footprints. And strange footprints were left behind near the scene. Like, the strange footprints had like 3 claw marks too.
Bree, that's so weird.
The sheriff made molds of the footprints and had them sent off to a biologist, and they were not able to determine what kind of animal could have made these markings. So, like, nothing on the books was, like, coming up with whatever was creating this. So it was just very odd.
That is weird.
While looking into this mysterious case, other members of the community began to come forward, claiming they'd, too, come across this tall creature with red eyes. At least 10 witnesses were
What?
reported. One of them being a man named George Hollowman, who told the sheriff he had stopped at an artesian well on the bank of the Scrape Ore Swamp at 1 a.m. And this was months prior to the incident, I believe, and he was there to collect some water. He saw what he originally believed was a dead tree in the road, and then it just like moved and took off. He described
Oh.
it as being
In the road?
yeah. He described it as, and it took off to the swamp. He described it as being a huge black creature with red eyes. Being that this was a small town, and this is just a crazy story, it immediately got attention from
Yeah.
the news and the media, and it went national
Wow.
in
And
just
this
a
was-
matter of days.
This was in the 80s?
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s, yeah. And this is like,
Jeez.
this was a very like nothing was in this town. This is a very small town. So the local radio station WCOS were even offering $1 million to anyone who could capture the creature alive. The story was kind of in a way good for the community, I feel like. It brought around 50,000 tourists that summer.
Jeez.
Shops and small businesses were selling Lizard Man t-shirts. Godzilla decorations were posted
my
around town.
gosh.
Even some songs were written about the iconic Lizard Man. So, like I said, it was, in a way, I mean, it's kind of a good thing for the community. Like, it brought in a lot of
Yeah,
publicity and tourists.
I really like that they didn't just like say these people are crazy.
Oh, yeah, they're going with it. They're
Yeah.
totally rolling with it.
Yeah.
So the sheriff was still like super serious about this and didn't give up on his investigations. He was very dedicated, took
He's
everyone
probably bored.
Yeah, he had nothing to do. He took everyone seriously no matter the crap he got for it, which he got crap for it.
I'm sure.
And he enforced that the public was not to come with him with false sightings or pranks.
Oh, okay.
Over the summer, reports continued to come in, and as did evidence. One of the scenes were that they came across were trampled trees, 40-gallon drums were crushed and scattered in the road,
What?
and tracks were seen in the dirt going nearby, going into the woods. They brought hounds to this scene, like sniffing hounds, or
Right.
whatever, and they got spooked and refused to go any further once they'd hit a certain part in the woods.
Really?
Yeah. Years later, in
That's-
1990, I know, like for them to not,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bananas.
but also like they're trained to smell humans, so they didn't smell something human. They didn't know what I don't know what they smelled, but
yeah,
it wasn't
I guess.
human, whatever it was.
Yeah, because they have to have a scent to go off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Years later, in 1990, the Lizard Man was spotted by a Brian and Michelle Elmore, and then by the Blythers family. They were driving and swerved to avoid hitting a dark creature in the road, according to reports given to Sheriff Truesdale.
Okay.
It appeared the Lizard Man It then appeared that Lizard Man went into retirement, but still took part in the hobby of destruction of property and scaring individuals. Reports still filed in over suspected Lizard Man encounters. Matter of fact, in 2008,
What?
not so recent, I guess, a family from out of town driving in their minivan sustained damage to their vehicle. The van ended up with chewed up fenders, twisted metal, and bite marks on the grill. According to the toxicology reports, blood of a dog was found on the vehicle. However,
How does a
nearby,
dog-
well, they didn't hit a dog. Like they didn't.
Yeah.
However, nearby the site was found. They found 6 dead cats, a dead cow, and a dead
No.
dog. A dead cow, which is mind blowing to
Yeah.
me, and was all just like very suspicious. They were just like all in this area, like all these dead animals, just like right here. Like what's eating these?
But the dog, the blood of the dog, like if they're trying to say that the dog did it, a dog can't like twist metal.
Yeah, that, or I mean, I think it was they saw like whatever this thing was, and it had the blood of whatever
Right,
it was
right.
eating. But yeah, no.
Oh.
So then in 2015,
wait,
Jim.
question.
Yeah.
Sorry. The people driving the car, did they say what it was?
They believed it was Lizard Man. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
They did see that they'd seen something.
They saw what
Describing
they
as
thought.
Lizard Man.
Okay.
Then in 2015, Jim Wilson was traveling toward Camden, South Carolina, when something out of the woods ran across Scrape Ore Bridge. Knowing of the Lizard Man legends, because he was local to South Carolina,
Mhm.
he immediately got out of his car and started taking pictures. Like, what else do you do?
Right.
He described it as a tall, dark figure with a tail and appeared to have scales,
What?
similar to an alligator, but with a short nose and long legs. He watched it move into the water and cross the swamp. Friends
Oh,
of
it like
his,
swam?
yeah, it goes right into the water. I don't know if it swims. I don't know if it just walks in there,
Like
hey,
wander,
sure.
like wades.
Like, yeah. I would
Huh.
assume it like wades in there.
I want to think that it can swim.
I hope that would be really cool,
That would just be more fun for this story.
like an alligator.
Yeah, like an alligator.
Gator.
Yeah.
Friends of his believe that it is a monitor lizard, which are like those really huge ass lizards
Yeah.
that are like in Florida. But and they weren't with him. It's just like what he told them. And then
Okay.
I guess his girlfriend suspected it was Lizard Man.
Can those things stand on two legs
No.
though?
They might be able to like sniff and like look at things.
Like
They don't like
sit
walk
up like a cat.
Yeah, they don't like walk on two legs, I
No.
don't think.
But did he say it
yeah,
walked?
because they walk like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said it was tall.
Weird.
So, a woman named Sarah reportedly spotted the giant lizard while at church with a friend in Bishopville. She claimed they saw it come out of the woods and run along the tree line, and evidently she got a picture of it. I didn't see it anywhere, but I saw 2 articles say that she got a picture of it, so I don't know.
I'm surprised they didn't provide the photo.
I know, that's why I think that maybe it was fake.
Yeah.
And so, okay, this is kind of closer to now.
Okay.
So, Captain Robert.
2015 is pretty recent.
Yeah.
That was 7 years ago.
Captain Robert McCullough, a South Carolina Department of
8 years
Natural
ago.
Resources
Sorry.
yeah, right. I know it feels like wow. So he's the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources spokesman, and he said that there have been no reports regarding recent sightings. However, Lizard Man has been linked to several investigations that he has seen.
No way.
So I know, that's crazy. So this being a cryptid, we've got lots of hoax and suspicions and theories and whatnot.
It's crazy that they're like, well, no other explanation besides Lizard Man.
It's definitely Lizard Man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're having I feel like it's just, I don't know, it's fun. I love it.
I like it.
So theorized by, okay, I don't know how accurate this one is. I think this was just someone's,
So this is a theory.
Yeah,
Okay.
I found someone's like personal blog,
Oh.
and I decided to use it.
You
So,
should.
this was from a
That's
local.
someone's theory.
It's a very, I don't know. It's a part of it's a weird. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
so it's a guy who is local. He believes that the Lizard Man is actually like a female cryptid, and I don't want to go
Okay.
too much into detail because some of the story was like a little bit offensive.
Oh.
But the name of the swamp is Scrape or Swamp, but he said that he'd learned that the name was actually Scrape Horse Swamp.
No, I don't like that.
And the story is about a woman during the Revolutionary War who was tailing around after the British company, or after a British company, and I guess like she was caught or something, and like they accused her. I don't know, but he said like basically like it's suspected that she could have been grabbed by like a gator in the swamp and taken to its den, and then like the Wendigo. What the fudge am I trying to say? That, you know that cryptid that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Wendigo. I don't know.
Is that a question?
Wendigo. It just sounds weird to me. So, the cryptid, the Wendigo, is like created from like a tragic event, forcing it to survive. So he believes that like this could be like a tragic event, like forcing this woman to survive, and she's like just adapted over time because she was forced to live in this gator den, and
Gotcha.
she's a cryptid now. So
Okay.
anyway, that's just
I don't like his.
I don't like
I
that
don't like
theory.
that
It's really
theory.
dumb.
But thank you
Sorry.
for sharing it.
Yeah.
It's a theory.
So this happened, and this could be other things that have happened as well. On August 5th, an airman of Shaw Air Force Base, Kenneth Orr, filed a police report claiming to have shot and wounded Lizard Man on Highway 15. He even
Oh.
presented evidence of scales and a small amount of blood. After this, however, it was found that it was a hoax, and he was fined for unlawfully, 1, carrying a pistol, and 2, given a misdemeanor for a false report. So, like, we don't know how many reports are false reports out there.
And that sheriff like took that seriously.
Yeah, yes,
He's like,
yes,
you will be
and
charged.
He was the one who charged him with that too.
Dang.
He's like, nuh-uh, not in my county, boy.
I want to know
Sorry.
if that held up with the court though,
Probably not.
because like the judge is like,
Well, that's a false report though. It's a false police report. You can't do that.
I mean,
that's illegal.
it is, but it's like, I want to
And
know.
the fact that he was illegally carrying a gun too.
Yeah, that definitely probably was, but the just coming from the different view of like, should this be thrown? Like,
Is this a legit thing that we're afraid of, or
Yeah.
is this yeah? Some believe that it could be someone dressing up as Lizard Man.
no, not for that many years.
So yeah, that's my thing. Is so evidently with that in 2015, whenever I told you about the people
that
it
got
was like
hit,
that
hit
had
with the car.
yes, they swerved. Whenever they had seen it, it was apparently that summer like a bunch of AC units were going missing and like being stolen. So rumor has it,
Like air conditioner units?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's pretty. I feel like that's pretty common because people
I
want
have no
the
idea.
the copper out of it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
costs a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
It happens in the South all the time. I know it did in Florida. So rumor has it, a member of the family that swerved to avoid hitting him, a family member of theirs named Lucas Elmore. The rumor has it that he created a costume to look like Lizard Man and scare any AC unit thieves. This is just a rumor, but it's a very well-known rumor.
That's a pretty good, like, I kind of like it.
I know. Well, but it only would have been like very recent because it was only to scare like AC unit thieves, and like 1988 was like way before this. So,
Yeah.
but the family claimed to not have known this, otherwise they wouldn't have reported it. And
Yeah, they wouldn't report their own family member.
exactly. Like I said, this was a rumor. So whenever he passed away, it was so well known, this rumor, that
Oh,
the
no.
pastor who like did all of his things about like during at his whatever,
Funeral.
yeah, he said, "I buried many men, but never Lizard Man."
Oh, I love that.
But like it's never been confirmed, and it probably
Now,
wasn't him.
Do you know during the rumor if he would just kind of go along with it, or
I don't know. No, I
Yeah.
don't know.
that would be fun to find
It.
out?
I mean, it didn't sound like he super denied it by the
I
way
mean,
like the wording was. So
though, I mean, if the pastor was talking about it, it must have been something that everyone just kind
yeah,
of
joked
laughed
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would totally go with it. I'd be like, and I'm Lizard Man.
Yeah, me too.
Turns out he is. Some believe Lizard Man could have simply been the sighting of a panther, a dog, any kind of animal, really, or even an evolved dinosaur.
I'm sorry, a panther.
Yeah,
in
Black
South
Panther.
in South Carolina.
Carolina Panthers. It's a football team, man. Carolina Panthers.
A
Yes, Panthers.
Not a cougar.
Yes.
I thought
Bobcat, Panthers.
I thought a
There are
panther
panthers
was.
there.
No, there's no.
Yes, they do. They have Panthers there.
I thought panthers were only in the rainforest.
No, they have Panthers there.
That is terrifying. Black panthers.
Black Panther, yeah.
Like from Mowgli.
Let me double check this.
Like Jungle Book. Black Panther.
Probably a different kind. Yeah. There's Florida Panther, or there's Panthers in Florida.
Did I know this?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 1000%. Yeah, because, like, I remember growing up, whenever we would go to my grandma's house, she lives, like, way out in the boonies, and, like, we would go take walks, and they'd be like, be careful, we've heard sights of a panther, and we'd be like, oh, terrified, like, oh, there's a panther's gonna get us.
Not mountain lions?
Mm-mm.
Not cougars.
I mean, there are cougars there. Older women.
Shut up.
Yeah. And bobcats.
You guys didn't have problems with mountain lions?
No, we didn't live in, like, mountain areas.
They're not just in mountain areas.
I mean, I would think that they would be more. No. That'd probably be more.
My mind
northern
is blown
California
right
or
now.
California, South Carolina. Sorry. Okay, so
Sorry.
it's okay.
I really thought they were only like in the rainforest or in jungles.
It's okay. It's okay. I learn new things every single day. All right. So some believe that it could even be like some kind of evolved dinosaur. Like there's a whole spiel on like this being like a dinosaur or reptile that just never stopped evolving from where it was.
I like that
But
version.
like
I love dinosaurs.
you love dinosaurs. But I mean, I'm not going to go into it. You guys can look it up. So just look up theories of lizard man. As of today, because of Lizard Man, Bishopville is on the map in South Carolina, not just a place to admire the Button King's button-covered hearse or the largest
Oh.
boll weevil in history at the Cotton Museum, but the birthplace of Lizard Man.
I like that there's a cotton museum.
Oh, of
It's
course.
so southern.
That's the biggest place to have cotton. Since this legend has been born, numerous sci-fi shows and documentaries have been filmed, like Destination Truth, to find out if Lizard Man is real or not, which Sheriff Truesdale has appeared on. Also, every year the town holds an event called the Lizard Man Stomp, where
Aw.
visitors play lizard-themed carnival games, take photos with Lizard Man cutouts, and watch a Lizard Man pageant crowned with like they're like fancy bejeweled tiaras, but like in the middle of them is like a bejeweled like lizard. They're so cute. And you can even have a plate of lizard bog, which is described as tasting like chicken. And that is the story of the Bishopville Lizard Man in South Carolina.
Oh, I love that one so much.
It's a fun one.
I think that's my new favorite one.
I can't believe, I know I've heard of Lizard Man, but like I didn't realize how big of a deal it is there.
Now, how close is Bishop to
A couple
where?
hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now I want to go there and go get a shirt because you can't get them on Amazon or anything. They're
What?
just there. And I'm sure I've stopped at
Check
they have-
Etsy.
Oh, that's a good idea. They have like tons of like gift shops there because I have to say
They embrace
like,
it.
Well, South Carolina is like a very very prideful state. Like they very much, if you're from South Carolina, like like you're very much like
Yeah, you talk about it like
die hard. Like
every
I'm a Carolina
conversation.
girl. I've lived in Florida for more of my life, but damn, I love it there.
Anyways, I have a
yeah. Sorry.
neighborhood story for you. I think my computer's gonna die.
Bloop.
So this is from a text message exchange between neighbors. It says, "Hey, sweetie, it's Amy. Randy was out mowing when he said he noticed you drive past smoking a cigar of some sort. A lot of children live on the street, so I will speak on their behalf and request you keep your habits private from the kids." And then she sent a picture back with what she was quote unquote smoking, Randy. And she said, "Hey, it's just a taquito. No bad habits here." She was eating a taquito.
Mind your own business.
Also, mind your own
yeah,
business.
if I want to smoke a cigar, I'm gonna smoke a cigar.
Like, how fancy would
Leave
you
me be.
Leave me be.
Cigars are cool. And if you're listening to this podcast, you should be over 18. So
Exactly.
cigars are not cool.
Cigars
Because I
are
know we have
gross.
kids that listen, so
We have like one. That's two, because Alice listens.
they're bad for you.
They're bad for you. Yeah.
you
Also,
want to talk like Amy for the rest of your life.
she was holding onto her throat while she said that, everyone. Oh my goodness, we're gonna get
Yes. Amy needs to go rest her voice. We have a singing
follow us
competition tomorrow.
everywhere
Yes.
on all the social media.
Check us out on Patreon.
Patreon is dope.
Patreon.com/WWTN podcast.
We also
and-
have a lot of stuff lined up for Patreon
Yes.
too.
And also buy us a coffee if you don't want to be on Patreon. It's
Send us or cough syrup.
yeah. Yes. We will use it to buy cough syrup. Thanks guys.
Some tea. Okay. And have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Bring Amy out.
What's with the neighbors?
That was a
Can
really
you-
good story.
Yeah, can you buy I wonder if you can Instacart. You can Instacart cough syrup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you can.
I would think
You can
so.
Instacart kids cough syrups. I don't see why you can't do adult.
Yeah.
I've got